Hello, hello, my lovely leaves, and welcome to Vivid Vibration Tarot. My name is Christina, and I'm going to be doing your general read for the upcoming, I don't know, I guess we're just going to say like the new moon read. I haven't been around for a while, decided to, take a break for a couple of months, and really just kind of focus on, myself and the things that I needed to focus on. And so, thank you so much to everyone who stuck around. I'm very excited to be back. That being said, I'm not sure I'm going to do the monthly and weekly reads any longer. I think I'm just going to kind of focus on maybe doing like new moon, full moon reads. When I've gone back and kind of reviewed, my videos over the past year, I've noticed that the energy doesn't necessarily play out, right then and there. It's almost like little things will play out, but like you really see it carrying itself out months down the road. So I feel like, new moon, full moon, intentions, and bringing things to a close. I mean, like that's really, it makes sense to me to do that. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I had started y'all's read, and for whatever reason, my phone just like completely like closed out the video. So let's see what we get this time. Already it seems to be a very different message. I can attest to that. All right, what do we have here? We have the village. Y'all, I feel like y'all get the village like on the regs. The village, the animal, the cave, Kairos, the forest, the kiss, and the ring. Okay. Leaves. In the read that I was just doing for y'all, there was just kind of this idea present of feeling like really confused, and part of that being the fact that you were only, you were seeing like fractured images and you were making assumptions, and that was just kind of a bad idea. I share that with you because, I feel like the village, the village is a card where you can't get any bigger than, the people surrounding you are, which is why it's always kind of that idea of if you, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, because you're only going to be brought down by people who are at like a lower level than you. And that's not even to say that they're less intelligent or they're less anything, so much as it is to say that like they're comfortable where they're at, and they're not going to exceed that. And if you go further than they do, then rather than cheer you on, they're gonna put you down. And it's not because you deserve to be put down, it's because they're too lazy to do anything else to better their circumstances, better their situation, so they need you to stay beneath them, or you minimally, like at their level. And I feel like you guys have just, I almost want to say like you've been in the village for like a hot minute now, and you're just exhausted with it. It's kind of the feeling that I get, like you're just like, God, this is exhausting. This is all that's ever gonna be. This is it. Like this is all you want. Gotta throw a little of that Libra flair in there. Y'all are so dramatic. But I think that part of that is that you've been watching. I want to say watching other people continue on a journey of growth, continue to, elevate the company, elevate their goals. Like you're watching other people elevate and push themselves, while you've just kind of been like sitting in the village, not elevating, not pushing yourself, not doing anything to better your situation or your circumstance. And that doesn't have to be necessarily financially. It can be, for some of my Libras, maybe you're just like, you're still struggling financially. For others of you, maybe you are, like you're like, I'm surrounded by emotionally stunted assholes, like Like, my God, you know, like, what are these people like stunted out at 12? You know, I mean, like, there are times when you meet people and you're like, wow, you didn't emotionally develop very far, did you? You know, like, what happened? Like, how can you correct that? And I kind of get the feeling that that's where you're at, and that's how you feel about your current environment, because you're wanting to, because you've been watching something outside of the village, and you know you're wanting to take action toward that. You know, the animal is like a carnal, instinctual card. You know, it can be very sexual as well. It doesn't have to be necessarily, although I kind of get the feeling that it may be. You know, but the idea here is that there's just like something that you are like there's like a craving for it. You're like, that's what I want. That's like, I'm going for it. I'm getting it this time. You know, like with this just like animal instinct of like you're ready to pounce. Like you've been watching. You know, you've been watching. I always want to say like with exhaustion. You know, from this surrounding or environment that you've been existing in, and you are just ready to like attack, not in like a violent way, just like I'm going to get what is mine, because like there's this instinctual carnal this is mine and this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do. I mean, you know, the other side of the animal is also kind of that loyalty. You know, I mean, you think of like a dog and how loyal they are, and you know, like you are their person. You know, even cats, you know, like I think cats do the same thing. They're like, you're my person, fuck everybody else. Dogs might be friendly to other people, cats not so much, but it's just that animal instinct of like, that's my person. You know, yeah, the example that I've used in the past has been that Twilight imprint. You know, like that person's imprinted on me, and I like, and they're mine, and I am that, and theirs. I am theirs. You know, it's just that like that idea that you've been watching something, and now you're like that instinct is just like churning and moving you to really like chase down what it is that you want. And I think that what you're wanting is, you know, like a deeper level of intimacy. You know, you want to dive deeper. You want to gain, you know, like access to something outside of the village. You know, because I think the village is just kind of offering you like this shallow level of existence. And you're like toes over it. We've got the cave and the kiss. And so, you know, the idea here is that, you know, you're wanting to really connect with someone on, you know, on a deeper level of intimacy, you know, and share in that. I love these cards. I mean, I love to touch. I'm such a toucher. But I love that, like the imagery and the idea here is that like you're so close to someone that, you know, like all you need to do is just reach out, you know, like just reach your hand out and they're there, you know, and they're connected with you. You know, it's kind of that idea of just like not experiencing isolation, not feeling alone, but not just in a physical sense, also just kind of like in this knowing, you know, this comfort of security and knowing that, you know, like this person is constantly, you know, like they're diving deep with you, they're exploring new forms of intimacy, and they're sharing in that with you. I mean, the kiss is such a sweet card, you know. I mean, the kiss is like, I mean, you think about the idea of like sex, and you can have sex with a person and never kiss them, you know, but like if you're kissing with someone, you know, like you're exchanging breath, you're, you know, I mean, there's just like this intimacy that's involved with it, that's really beautiful. And you also have the ring here. So I mean, I get the feeling that, you know, like this intimacy that you're craving with this person and that you're, you know, kind of like focused on, is something that you know, like it carries with you a lot of value. You know, the ring is kind of the idea of never ending, never beginning. You know, it's high level commitment, and I think that that's what you're craving right now. I mean, Libras and Taurus are both, you know, the two signs ruled by Venus. You know, and we're in Taurus, we're new moon for Taurus. I mean, it makes sense that, you know, like that would be on your mind for this. And I think that the idea here is that that this intimacy and this connection and this commitment that you're, you know, seeking is something that's going to kind of take you into another realm. I love this card. It's so beautiful. It's the forest is the idea of uncharted territory. It's a place that you've never been before. It's a path that's not yet been carved. And so I kind of get the feeling that this is a level of a relationship that you have yet to experience. I mean, in every relationship that we experience is different. You know, no two people are the same, so no two, you know, relationships can ever really carry out in the same way. You know, but that is to say that I think that this is just like there's a level of intimacy involved in this, a level of knowing and understanding that, and a level of sincere commitment that I think is something you've never dedicated yourself to. Okay, let's get some clarifiers for my leads. What else can we get here for Libra? We have Justice so far, which is a Libra card. Oh, okay. We have Justice, the Devil, and Three of Cups. Well, I kind of want to say that the Devil, in terms of the village, you know, I mean, the Devil is the idea of manipulation, you know, like power plays and, you know, like I'm gonna toy with you and you know, I feel like saying really, you know, the Devil is that idea of like constantly being triggered. You know, like you're it's almost like you're on like a high functioning level of anxiety that keeps you so like your vibration so like you know, like the tiniest little thing will just trigger you and set you off. You know, like your energy feels very tense. And I feel like, you know, like the Devil is kind of like that tense energy that's like, I'll you know, like I'll pull this and I'll do that, you know, like if you trigger me. And I kind of want to say that like relationships have been like a trigger for you, that have played out for you in a manner of like, I'll hurt you before you hurt me. You've never been able to really experience a depth of intimacy, or you know, like because you've been like your I want to say your vibration has been so tense that it's like it snaps before you get a chance to really like settle into it. You know, I mean, if you think of the idea of like a string, and if it's pulled, you know, tightly, then it breaks easily. But if you loosen it, you know, and you give it some slack, then it can bend and fluctuate and reach down into levels that it couldn't otherwise have touched. That's my visual image for you. That's happening with that. And so I think that while you've pulled away and you've been watching, I almost want to say that you've been recognizing this about yourself. Because, you know, also the other thing that comes to mind is the idea of like a dragon, like sitting on their treasure, you know, and like they'll kill anybody who comes near it. And whereas, this is where this is coming from, you know, like the dragon protects, you know, whereas the animal is there, you know, at the ready, you know, sharing and giving in its love and affection. And I feel like you've been at this place where you've been stepped away, you've been, you know, in the village, you've been in this low, tight vibration, you know, like protecting all that's yours, you know, and now you're kind of recognizing like how, I don't know, not like repulsive, but like also repellent that is to attracting anything positive It's like that tight string, like, and you can't, there's no flexibility, it just snaps. And so you're having to really bring that, into justice, and bring those scales back into balance, because, the idea here is that it's just like been way out of balance. And a lot of that has just been because you've been so tense. And I don't even know that you have been aware of how tense you are. I mean, I kind of get the feeling that it's almost just been like this status quo for you. Like, this is just how I am. Like, what do you mean? I'm not anxious. No, I'm not tense. And it's like, but yeah, you kind of are. And so, like, in bringing this back into justice, and easing your energy, and letting go of this, like, need to just, like, control, and allowing yourself to experience love and intimacy, and a depth of connection, you are, enabling this transition, from like this hoarding, tense, like, surrounding yourself with low vibrational people, because you yourself are low vibrational, without even recognizing it, to whoever this is for. But you're bringing that into balance, and I think that's your intention. Your intention is to bring it back into balance. Your intention is to go from being something that's repellent to, engaging in something that is celebratory, something that's worth, raising a toast for, like 3 cheers to this, growth and transition from being, closed off to being open to love, and actually experiencing, love in a sincere manner. I mean, because, Venus is your ruler. Let's see, we have the Hierophant. Eight of Swords. Yeah. Libs, I feel like, you're just kind of on that. You're defensive. You're, like, you don't trust. You're ready to attack before anybody's even, like, I want to say, like, even like a thought had crossed their mind to attack you. You're already on the defensive, ready to attack them. And I feel like that's the energy that you've been in. It's just that, like, very tight, very negative, like, I'll do unto others before they do unto me. And now you're wanting to move into, an energy of the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is, the idea of, like, ever the student, ever the teacher. Somebody who has a wealth of knowledge to share, but also is open to the fact that there's so much to learn. And I love that idea, because it's that idea of, like, an equal give and take. And when you are, like, my knitting needles. When you're like this, there's no, there's no room for flexibility. But when you slacken it, you can create, you can experience, you can give and receive, rather than just only ever, pulling things so tight that there's no room to do either. You can neither give nor receive, You can only control and manipulate. And I think that, the energy here leads is that you're moving into an energy where you're not so tense all of the time. You're letting that go. You're letting that fall to the side so that you can move toward, like, a sincere intimacy and depth. Because when you're not willing to explore your own depths, there's certainly no way that anyone else can. And if you sincerely want to experience love and relationship, you have to be willing to explore your depths and to allow others to do the same with you. And I feel like that's just a really big lesson that you all have been, coming into. So let's pull one more archetype, and we'll call it a read. I feel like I didn't pull a lot of cards for this, but that message came out pretty strong, so, oh my word. Sorry, card, like, all the way across the ridge. The mountain. Yeah, exactly. It's that, like, you can't, if you're not willing to go in deep and and discover your own value, you're never going to allow anybody the opportunity to discover your value either. And if you sit on it and you hoard it, and you're like, this is my treasure, then that's fine. That's your treasure, like but you'll never be able to share in that with anybody. And I think that you're definitely moving in a direction where you're able to, you're coming out with a better understanding of your value, because when you cap yourself out at a certain level, you aren't able to really understand your value, because you never reach to to achieve that. You never work towards that. You're just like, this is what it is and this is how it is, and you're protective of it, rather than like really harnessing it and understanding it and exploring it, and discovering it in a real way. And I think that, Leaves, that's kind of what you're doing, is you're discovering your value, and approaching a relationship with someone who you've had your eye on, who you, I think, almost just have like this imprint of, quite literally a tattoo over some of my leaves. But like you this person is a part of you in a real way, and you're really moving. You've brought yourself into balance. You've brought justice to your behavior, and I think in turn brought justice to this person, in dealing with your own demons, and recognizing that like you are the company you keep, and if you want to dive down deeper, if you want to experience a meaningful relationship, then you're going to have to let that go, in order to move forward into uncharted territories. So there you go. I hope this resonates with y'all, and you have a fantastic rest of the month, and hopefully I'll see y'all again soon. Make sure you set your intentions and work for what you want, Leaps. Much love.